Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session. Excretion, the wastage disposing system, part 2. So in the last class, the concept of excretion we have studied, and once again let us briefly review. So what is excretion? The process of elimination of nitrogenous waste materials from the body is called excretion. And we have learned that the important nitrogenous waste materials produced as a result of metabolic activities are ammonia, urea and uric acid. The animals which produce ammonia, they are called ammonotelic animals. Example, aquatic animals like fishes, ammonotelic animals which excrete ammonia as the main nitrogenous waste materials, and the animals which excrete urea as the main excretory material, they are called ureotelic animals. Human beings also come under this ureotelic category. Frog is a ureotelic, whereas its larva tadpole is a ammonotelic. Okay. Next, the animals which excrete uric acid as the main excretory material, they are called uricotelic animals. Uricotelic animals. Example, insects, reptiles and birds, they are called uricotelic animals. So the phenomenon in which these materials excreted, that is ammonia, when it is excreted, it is called ammonotelism. If urea is excreted, ureotelism. If uric acid is excreted, uricotelism. Okay. So like that, the animals are classified based on excretion into ammonotelic, ureotelic and uricotelic. So we also completed one activity, that is studying the structure of kidney. So in the today's class we are going to discuss more about the structure of kidney. Are you ready, children? Let us proceed. The yesterday's lab activity. What is the shape of the kidney? The shape of the kidney is bean seed shape. What is the color of the kidney? The color of kidney is reddish brown in color. Do you find any attachments on the upper portion of the kidney? Yes, there is a adrenal gland which is attached to the upper portion of the kidney. Is the internal structure similar to the figure given beside? Yes. What is the color of the outer part of longitudinal section of kidney? It is somewhat light red in color. In the LS of kidney, where do you find the dark color portion? We find the dark color portion in the inner medulla region of the kidney. Outer cortex, inner medulla. How many tubes are coming out from kidney fissure? Okay, there are three main tubes, two blood vessels and one ureter. Okay. So this is the internal view. So this is already completed yesterday. Let us proceed. The human kidneys. So now let us know the structure of a human excretory system and its functions. In human being, there are a pair of bean shaped reddish brown structures in the abdominal cavity attached to dorsal body wall. one on either side of the backbone. This is the exact position. Where the kidneys are located? In the abdominal cavity attached to the dorsal body wall, one on either side of the backbone. See the location of kidney. So this is the dorsal side of the body, dorsal body wall. They are attached to exactly on either side of the backbone in the abdominal cavity. The right kidney is placed slightly lower than the left kidney. The right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney. You see here. Think why it is so? Because in order to maintain the what you call homeostasis. Homeostasis means balance in the body, certain organs. So one of the part is large in size, one of its part is small in size. Okay, one is placed slightly towards downside, one is placed towards the upside. In the 9th class also you have studied about the areolar tissue, the tissue which helps or which held the organs in position. Okay, connective tissue. The size of the kidney is 10 centimeter in length, 5 to 6 centimeter in breadth, and 4 centimeter in thickness. Okay, what is the size of the kidney? 10 centimeter length, 5 to 6 centimeter breadth, and 4 centimeter in thickness. Each kidney is convex on the outer side and concave on the inner side. Okay, you see kidney here, outside convex, inner side concave. The position of the right kidney is lower than the position of the left kidney due to the presence of liver. Liver is placed above the kidneys. So in order to accommodate the place for the liver, right kidney is slightly lower. Okay, so this is the right kidney. Always remember, in the 3-dimensional figure, our right hand side is left and our left hand side is right. Okay, next. So this is the position of the kidneys, and here it is our excretory system consisting of a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, and a urethra. The kidneys are invaded by two important blood vessels. They are renal artery and renal vein. Renal artery and renal vein. So this is on the above the kidney. There is the adrenal gland is placed like this. Okay, it has no role in the process of the excretion. Of course, the hormones produced by this gland also influence the process of excretion to some extent, not totally. Next, the inner side of each kidney has a fissure, or it is also called hilus, for the entry of the renal artery and exit of the renal vein and an ureter. Okay, in the beginning only we have studied there are 3 tubes are coming out from the fissure or the hilus of the kidney. One is the renal artery, second one is the renal vein, and the third one is the ureter. The renal artery enters into the kidney through this hilus region only, and the renal vein exit through hilus or fissure. Okay, space. Next, so already we have studied this in the activity. The inner side of the kidney has a fissure or hilus for the entry of renal artery, for the exit of renal vein and an ureter. The renal artery, what is the function of renal artery? The renal artery brings oxygenated blood loaded with waste products, and renal vein carries deoxygenated blood. Okay, the function of renal artery. This is the renal artery, which is red in color, mentioned in the diagram, shown in the diagram. The renal artery, dorsal aorta itself enters the kidney as renal artery. It divides into small capillaries called renal arterioles. The main function of this renal artery is it brings the oxygenated blood loaded with the waste products, and the renal vein is shown in the blue color. So vena cava, the posterior vena cava, one of its branch enters into the kidney, okay, in the form of renal artery. The renal is the term which indicates the kidneys. The vein which invades the kidney is called renal vein. The artery which invades the kidney is called renal artery. So what is the function of renal vein? Renal vein carries deoxygenated blood. It carries deoxygenated blood. So the waste products which are generated in the various organs of the body, they are filtered and removed by the kidneys. This is the main function of a kidney. So if anybody asks where the blood is filtered in our body, means it is the kidney. Where the blood is purified means kidney. Where is the blood oxygenated means lungs. Okay, so it is the excretory system where the filtration of the impure blood takes place. Okay, it is the most or an important or vital organ in the body. Kidneys are the vital organs in the body. They maintain osmotic balance. What are the two main functions? One is they maintain the osmotic balance or osmoregulation, and the another important function is eliminate the nitrogenous waste materials in the form of urine. Let us proceed. Now, in order to understand the exact function of the kidneys, we need to study the internal structure of kidneys. Now, externally, there are two kidneys are there. They are connected with the tubes called ureters, and they open into a bag-like structure called urethra, and which opens outside. Okay, urinary bladder, and it opens outside through urethra. This is the general structure. But in order to understand the function, we should focus on the internal structure of a kidney. So let us observe in order to study the internal structure, we need to take the longitudinal section of kidney, or let us observe the LS of kidney to know more about the internal structure. The LS of kidney shows two distinct regions. One is a dark colored outer zone called the cortex, and the pale inner zone called medulla. Okay, outer cortex, it is bright colored, dark colored, and which is pinkish or very reddish in color. Okay, inner medulla is somewhat brownish in color. So that's why we can say the kidneys are reddish brown in color. Okay, each kidney is made up of Here approximate figure is given. Approximately more than 1 million, 1.3 to 1.8 million microscopic and thin tubular functional units. They are called uniferous tubules, or simply we can call it as nephrons. Uniferous tubules or nephrons. Okay. So each kidney is made up of more than 1 million microscopic and thin tubular structural and functional units. They are called nephrons or uriniferous tubules. Uriniferous tubules. Okay, this is the internal structure. So here outer calyx is very thick. This is the calyx region, which is convex, and inner medulla is concave, it's pale in color. And so each kidney, it is made up of several more than 1 million of functional units. They are called nephrons. The structure of nephron, this is a very important part. We enter into the key part of the functioning, the structure and functional units, nephrons. So each nephron has basically two parts. One is the Malpighian body, and the other is renal tubule or Malpighian capsule and renal tubule. Okay. Malpighian body, it consists of a blind cup shaped border end of nephron, which is called Bowman's capsule, and a bunch of fine blood vessels or fine small blood capillaries. They together form glomerulus. Okay. The Malpighian body consisting of a blind cup shaped broader end of nephron, which is called Bowman's capsule, and a bunch of fine blood capillaries united together to form a glomerulus. The Bowman's capsule and glomerulus, they together form Malpighian capsule, or it is also called renal capsule. Okay, first we are saying Malpighian body. Now we are calling it as a Malpighian capsule or renal capsule. So glomerulus, the glomerulus develops develops from efferent arteriole. So the renal artery is divided into afferent and efferent arterioles. So the efferent arteriole means the arteriole which is entering into the kidney. Incoming arteriole is called as afferent, AFF. There is a difference between AFF and EFF. Okay, EFF means outgoing. Okay, the glomerulus develops from the afferent arteriole. It gives rise to an efferent arteriole. Okay, again it gives rise to an efferent arteriole. So think why the diameter of efferent arteriole is less than that of the afferent arteriole. Because of the narrower outlet, means efferent arteriole, the pressure exerts in the glomerulus. Okay, the pressure exerted in the glomerulus. So this pressure is required. It functions as a filtration unit. Okay. So in afferent arteriole, it gives rise to an efferent arteriole. So because of the narrower outlet of the efferent arteriole, the pressure exerts in the glomerulus. So this pressure, okay, blood pressure only, more pressure, it functions as a a filtration unit. It functions as a filtration unit. So Bowman's capsule, which accommodates one glomerulus, each Bowman capsule which can accommodate only one glomerulus, it is lined by a single layer of squamous epithelium cells. They are also called podocyte cells. Already we come across this in the epithelial tissue, animal tissues. So Bowman's capsule is lined by, especially glomerulus, is lined by a single layer of which epithelium? Squamous epithelium or squamous epithelial cells. They are also called podocyte cells. So there are fine pores between the podocyte cells to allow the passage of materials filtered out of glomerulus. So there are very fine pores like a sieve between the podocyte cells. So that will help in the passage of materials, and which acts like a filter bed. Okay, the materials are filtered out of glomerulus from that. Now you see here, so this is the internal structure of kidney and this is the structure of nephron. Okay, the nephron divided into mainly the Malpighian body and renal tubule. It is divided into two parts. What are they? Malpighian body, and remaining tube-like structure, entire tube-like structure, it is called as renal tubule. So in the Malpighian body, glomerulus is formed. Okay, so this cup-like structure, it is called as a Bowman's capsule. So the artery which is entering into the nephron, it is called efferent. Renal artery is divided into minute capillaries. They are called efferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole, it enters into the nephron and comes out in the form of efferent arteriole. Okay, so fine capillaries which form a network of capillaries and which form glomerulus. Glomerulus is formed by efferent arteriole. Okay, then there is this is lined by the Bowman's capsular glomerulus is lined by an epithelium which is called as squamous epithelium. This squamous epithelium will form special cells. They are also called the podocyte cells. There is a gap or spores which are present in this in between these podocyte cells, which allow the passage of materials and help in the filtration. Okay, the filtrate which is formed here, it is called as glomerular filtrate. Once again we will discuss the formation of urine, mechanism of nephron. Now try to understand the structure of nephron. Okay, the tubular portion is divided into different tubules. The first convoluted tubule, or it is also called as proximal convoluted tubule. The second convoluted tubule, it is also called the distal convoluted tubule, which opens into the collecting duct. Okay, this Bowman's capsule opens into the loop of Henle's loop. It looks like seems to be like a hairpin. So that's why it is called loop of Henle. Okay, so this efferent arteriole will form the capillary network, and so every nephron, each nephron, there are how many nephrons are there? More than 1 million nephron, 1.3 to 1.8 million nephrons are present in each kidney. There are 2 kidneys are there. Okay, so these nephrons, the tubular portion finally ended with or opens into pelvis. Pelvis means the fissure. So that from that nephrons opens into directly ureters, okay, where from the urine is collected and opens into the urinary bladder, and the exit out through urethra. Okay, so this is the kidney. So each kidney is made up of this if you take the internal structure, two parts, outer cortex which is thick reddish in color, and inner medulla which is pale reddish in color, reddish brown in color. Next the renal artery and renal veins. So these lines which are very microscopic, which are not visible, they are called the nephron. Each nephron, if you see, this is the ultra microscopic structure of a nephron. Okay. Next, let us continue the structure of nephron. So we have completed the Bowman's capsule part or Malpighian body. Now the second part we are calling it as a renal tubule. So the renal tubule has three parts. The first are proximal convoluted tubule, we come across in short form PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, and the second part that is called as loop of Henle. The proximal convoluted tubule is connected to distal convoluted tubule with the help of this hairpin like structure. It is called a loop of Henle. And the third part that is this loop of Henle is U-shaped, and the second convoluted tubule or distal convoluted tubule. Distal convoluted tubule. Okay, the proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubule, they are connected to each other by loop of Henle. Okay. The distal convoluted tubule opens into a duct called collecting duct. Okay, after the completion of the filtration, this nephron or the distal convoluted tubule opens into this collecting duct. The collecting tubule form pyramids and calyces which open into the pelvis. So once again go back to the structure. Here, see, these are the renal pyramids. These renal pyramids, all the nephrons opens into these pyramids. Okay, renal calyces, they are also called, because just like the calyx means petals. The petals of the flower, they are arranged like this. See, they are nearly 5 to 6. These renal calyces are present. Okay, the shape is like a pyramid. Renal pyramids, they are also called. So each nephron, they opens into this pelvis. Okay, this is the portion. The pelvis opens into hilus. From the hilus, the ureter will continue. Okay. So let us continue. All the parts of the renal tubule are covered by a network of peritubular around the tube. Capillaries are formed from efferent arteriole. See, this is the efferent arteriole. Okay. The peritubular capillaries join to form renal venule. Renal venule, which joins the other venules to form finally the renal vein. Okay, they form the renal vein. So renal vein is not mentioned in this figure. Okay. So this is the internal structure of the nephron, the kidneys and the nephron, and why the nephron is considered to be the structural and functional unit of the kidney. So let us end the today's class with this question. Because the filtration takes place in the nephrons of the kidneys, that's why they are called the structural and functional units of the kidneys. Okay children, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.